What's up, guys? It's keeping it real fishing out here. December 3rd, I think it is. All I know is it's Brick City, man. I've just launched. I've just gotten to my first spot. I'm already frozen. I have so many layers on. Interestingly, I was here about a week ago. The temperatures have raised a little bit, which I thought it was cool this week, but apparently not. We've gone up from about topwater temps here, as indicated by the Lorentz, of 41 last week to 45 now. And it's kind of still relatively early, so it might warm up by a degree or so. And going to be slinging the big Huddleston. It's a Huddleston kind of day. We're talking absolutely late fall, early winter right now. Gonna go low and slow with the big Huddleston, and hopefully something can happen. So that's it, and hopefully I can report back to you with the giant. Still looking for that new personal best, man. Been stuck at 6'6" for a while, trying to crack 7 pounds. It's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time, but I'm coming back home. I'm a big, I'm not a fanboy of any lure per se, but ever since I discovered these things, I made 2 videos on these going back a couple of years now, the KEITECH Swing Impact Fats. And it still remains, when people ask me, you know, what's your favorite lure, it's this. It's this. As much as I throw the big swim baits, and I've focused on them for the big bites, when it comes to an overall bait, if I had to choose one bait, one single bait, it's the Swing Impact Fat. Depending on how you rig it, I could fish it as a topwater wake. I could drag it on the bottom. I use it as a jig. I put it on a, you can put it on a football or one of those rugby swinging heads. But primarily I fish it as a swim bait. And I just, you know, work it in different parts of the water column. You can count it down like a countdown crankbait. You can keep it at different parts of the water column. I found that there really is nothing you can't do with this, and I don't want to, I've never alluded that there's anything so special about one lure. But this is almost to me like in the vein of the Senko, and how no one disputes the ridiculous effectiveness of the Senko. You know, it was kind of a new addition, right? It's not a lure that's been with us for, you know, 50 years. And ever since it came out, people realized that the, you know, kind of the unassuming stick bait just works ridiculously well. The same is true of this. And I think that's indicative of the fact that you see so many clones of this now. So many manufacturers are coming out with lures, and they don't even try to redesign it. They just try to clone what KEITECH has done. And I can't tell you why it works so well, but anybody who's fished these for a while will tell you it's not just hype, it's reality. These things will catch fish. Oftentimes when other lures just won't, they do it at a better rate. They're just awesome. This one here is a gold flash minnow. It's in the 5.8 size. That's pretty much all I throw. I started off with the 4.8, but this is a small lure, and this gets bit pretty much just the same. And the main reason I'm putting them back on, I'm getting a little nostalgic, is because I'm really, I don't know if I've ever been more excited for a lure. I've been petitioning KEITECH USA for the past 3 years to make bigger models. And I almost to the point where I was going to get a 3D printer, scan this, and scale it up percentage-wise, make my own mold, and start pouring my own, because I just want a 7 and an 8-inch KEITECH Swing Impact Fat so badly. I was this close to actually doing the legwork and doing it, and then as it turns out, they're going to be released this year. Coming in January, a 6.8 and a 7.8 are coming out. I literally can't be more excited. There's a part of me that actually wants to run an experiment next year and just fish that bait and that bait alone for the whole year. I don't know if I could do that, but there's a part of me that just wants to. So anyway, guys, I'm going to be rocking the 5.8 here a little bit. I haven't thrown it in such a while. I've been just focusing on these giant lures. So I'm excited to see if, oh, first cast in the tree, wonderful. Come on. Excited to see if it can't work some magic and get me some fish here on these cold, difficult days. I hope this isn't a precursor of what's to come. First cast is straight up stuck in a tree. Oh well, gotta go over to it. Fish on. Fish on. Whew. There we go, guys. Had to downsize. Oh, get that off. Had to downsize. Been throwing the big 8-inch huddle all day, and had to go to the smaller, rocking that KEITECH 5.8. I like to run it standard like that. I don't spruce it up. Just run on those weighted jig heads. You can do so much with it. That's a nice fish right there. It's probably I mean, nothing big, maybe 3.5, maybe upper 3s. Good stuff. .39, 3 pounds 9 ounces. Solid fish. Not the giant we're looking for. Looking for one about twice this size, but 3.9 we take. Just got one there. I just got that what was that, 3.9? I already forgot. 3.9 on the KEITECH 5.8. And it's funny too, I come back to this lure. I haven't fished a KEITECH maybe a few times in the past couple months, and I know it's crazy when I'm saying that it's probably my favorite lure, but it's just that I know the KEITECH gets bit, and it's just never got me a big fish. It's not to say that it can't. I'm sure if you just stick with it, you know, circumstantially you will, like any other traditional size lure. But I just put in the bulk of my time with the big stuff, because my experience has been I don't get a lot of bites, but the bites I get on these are like really, they're 5s and 6s, and that's great for New Jersey and the East Coast, you know, cracking that 5-pound mark, 6-pound mark. So to me, it's not about the numbers. It's fun to get a lot of fish, and I know the KEITECH can do it. It did it for me so many years past, but I've just been gunning for those trophy fish. But one of the things I often do is I cover my prime area, you know, an area that I feel that there's a good fish in, or a likelihood of a fish, and I'll throw it the big baits, and I'll cover it from a few different angles, and then I'll follow it up with something decisively smaller. You know, I've already thrown it my choice bait, the thing which I'm trying to get that big bite on, and I give it the few casts, so to give them those multiple opportunities, like I said, from a couple different angles. But if nothing happens, I kind of be a fool to go away and to not throw a different option. Very oftentimes I'll throw a jig. I'll give it a very different profile. I'll move from a fish profile to a crawfish. And then the other thing I'll do is I'll scale down. A lot of times I'll knock it down to the 68 special. And then today I just got it in my head. I'm so excited for KEITECH to release the new larger sizes of the swing impact fats, the 6.8s and those 7.8s, that I'm just like, you know, let me reacquaint myself with this lure. I love this thing, and let's start putting some fish in the boat with it. Here we are, coming back to that KEITECH for the first time in months, and maybe that was like my 4th or 5th cast. It's no joke, man, when I see that thing works. Those things freaking work. But so I'm gonna go back to that kind of master plan right now, guys. I'm gonna cover the areas, choice areas first with the big bait, then I'm gonna roll into the small baits, and then once I've covered it thoroughly, move on to the next spot. HUD 68 special, rate of fall 12, weedless, and rainbow trout. I've been going back and forth here between alternating between my big Huddleston and the KEITECH, and I forgot to put on, usually my alternation is between the 8-inch Huddleston and this guy, and the HUD 68. And I just wanted to get back into my KEITECH, start throwing those swing impact fats again. But I'm actually re-rolling with 3. They're all 3 different presentations. The KEITECH has that boot tail, which is typically not a cold water thing, but I'm crawling it so slow that it's just a slow moving bait either way. But the Huddleston has that vortex tail, still has that very ultra realistic profile. The weedless, all 3 of them are weedless, so just another thing in the mix, just to give them another option. The big realistic lure, the little bit smaller realistic lure, and then like kind of the more generic, different profile KEITECH lure. So all weedless because I have to be. If you guys could see, I got a lot of stuff I'm dealing with here. This is on, what am I rocking here? Tatula HD Custom 6.3-1. I got this on my travel rod, my travel swimbait rod. This is a 711 Akuma Citrix 4-piece, rated at 1 to 5 ounces. Really cool. I got so into testing it, I just rolled it into my normal rotation. And it's heavy, as travel rods are, because you have the ferrules and you have the different sections. It's definitely heavier than a traditional one-piece rod. But in terms of fishing it, and the power, the loading, the action, to me it's fine, absolutely fine. I really enjoy fishing it. It's just a little heavy, but to me that's not such a big deal. So anyway, the Akuma Citrix travel rod, just put down your guys' radar. If you don't know about it, if you guys like to throw some of those big baits, and you also are someone who's on the move, whether you're someone who travels with work, or maybe even just have a tiny vehicle and you can't fit the full-size rods, these are good options. Again, 4-piece rod, which is again different because a lot of these rods, even the long ones, tend to be 3-piece rods. Akuma went with the 4-piece. This one rated at 1 to 5 ounces, and they actually have another model, a heavier model, rated at, I believe it's 2 to 8 ounces, 4-piece travel rod. They're really awesome. It's really a sleeper rod. They don't, if you go on Tackle Warehouse, so many sites, it's not listed under swimbait gear, but it totally is. It has the same specs as the Guide Select series, their swimbait series, and obviously a rod rated at 2 to 8 ounces, 7'11" is a swimbait rod, but they're just kind of nestled there in the Citrix lineup. They're little gems. A lot of people don't know about these things. I absolutely love them. And like I said, I mean, I use this when I go traveling, so I can throw my my big baits, bring some of my big baits with me. But I like it. I've just been using it for pretty much the whole year. Just rolled it into my rotation. So anyway, 711 Citrix, and pretty much the way I run most of my setups, save for, well, kind of 1 or 2 I go back and forth on, but most things I run braid to a copolymer leader. I just like that. I like to have, whoop, just had a bite. Fish on. Fish on, as I'm talking about it. Get this guy here. As we're talking about it, not a giant, but I'll take that, man. December 3rd here in New Jersey, coming up on winter, and getting some Huddleston fish, and that's on that 68 special. Just talking about all the gear that I'm using here today. Let me give you guys a quick look at that there. Huddleston 68, rainbow trout, weedless, because I was bringing them through a lot of brush and laydowns here. Rate of fall 12, just bring them slow across the bottom. This guy hit it, came back for it. Nothing huge, maybe like 3 1/4, 3 1/2. But I'm just happy to get some fish in December, to be honest with you. Nice. Look at how red his mouth is, wow. So there we go, guys. Hud 68. Quality fish, able to swallow that no problem. Alright, survey says three, four and change. We'll just say 3-4. Really looking for that What I'm really looking for is a 7-pound fish, but it's about half the size that I'm hoping to crack. But hey, this time of year, particularly here, East Coast, man, it gets a little tough coming into December here. We'll take it.